Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Caffeine and Sensu Beans podcast. I am joined by Chiween. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I had a pretty good sleep, so that was pretty good.
Oh, good for
Um,
you.
well, ran into that problem with this movie that it was in Japanese at first,
Right.
and then
No, yeah, no
as
subtitles, huh?
fluent as I am, yeah, as
Right,
fluent as
right.
I am in Japanese, I'm gonna need the dubbed version. So that was about it. Yeah, so I went to sleep
But you
pretty
found
late
it.
because of that. Yeah, I was able to find it.
And
Yeah,
of course, this movie was like one of the ones that's not 45 minutes.
yeah, of course.
It's like it's a whole hour. Uh, yeah. But good, you got your
Yeah. How are
rest.
you?
You all right?
hmm
All
hmm
right. Yeah, I'm doing all right. I was just watching the Manchester United Liverpool game. Oh my God, dude.
Oh yeah, how's that going? I wanted to watch that. What, it
Trash.
was boring?
Oh my God, yeah, dude. Honestly, if these are the
Really?
trash, if these are the two best teams, like Real Madrid is not far away from winning a Champions League, bro. Trash, dude.
Okay.
This game it's zero
Oh, that
zero
was a
last
bad game. Oh
zero
man.
zero minute 71 last I checked. Um and Manchester United had one
Jeez
shot on target.
Louise.
One shot, just one.
Oh
It
Lord.
was bad. But I'm good. I had yesterday I was kind of like, oh, I'm feeling a little strange, right? I was like, I feel a little warm. I feel my throat's a little itchy. Like not, it didn't hurt, but it's like it felt it feels like it feels itchy. Like you want to almost scratch it. And so I woke up today. I feel totally fine, but it's like it's hard not to read into every little symptom now because you just never know.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but yeah, I feel totally fine. Um, I think maybe I just
Yeah,
didn't
I
sleep
feel it.
enough. Yeah. And then I had a long day yesterday, dude. I went to Fairfield to go pick up a crib. We
Mm.
went to San Jose to go pick up the ring that was too big. They resized it, so we went to San Jose to go pick it up. From there, we went to San Rafael to pick something up, and then from there we went to Fairfield to pick up the crib, and then we drove back. Ah, I was just done, dude. I was tired. So maybe
Yeah,
that affected
and
it.
there was a thing, right?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I feel all right, man. I feel all right. Uh, ready to talk about this movie. Um, you know, how'd you feel about it? We always start off with the one word. So, if you had to give me a word, what'd you think?
Yeah. My word for this week would have to be anticlimactic.
Anticlimactic. Okay. Mm, my word would have to be uh mm, I want to use this word, although it's not necessarily like it doesn't capture the entire movie, but I'm just going to use it anyways. It's a journeyman. Um,
Okay.
uh, so yeah, what were you feeling? What were the vibes with this movie? How did it come off to you?
It was surprisingly a good story. I liked what they were doing with the pieces that they had here, and
Mm,
yeah, so it had a good build up and stuff, and then so I say anticlimactic because it's or anticlimactic because that I thought the way that they killed Turles was it was kind of fast, and I
mm,
didn't really quite understand it until King Kai at the end
yeah.
explained it. And I hate when King Kai comes in and just does that. He's just been doing that. He's been doing that for the last couple of movies, and I really dislike him. He just comes in, his voiceover just comes in. It's like he's gonna go
Right.
on.
Yeah,
This is what just
right. He
happened. He
sounds
just used
literally.
his own power, and he
Yeah.
literally tells us what just happened. And I'm like, oh Lord, okay. So
Yeah,
I really don't like that. Yeah.
that's funny. They actually, yeah, you're right. They
So
use King Kai as like the guy to explain what's going on. I just
yeah.
realized that. Um,
Mhm.
like he's the dude that informs us of everything. Um, Yeah, anticlimactic. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it was it. I don't know. Okay, so Goku's destroyed. It looks like he's out for the count or down for the count, and um, of course, he hears the journeyman's voices in his head, and
Mm-hmm.
he's like, We're
Kicking his
alive.
ass.
Like, you know, you have to do it for us." And he gets up,
Oh Lord.
and of course, he blasts a spirit bomb out of that. But
Yeah.
the spirit bomb's too weak, and it gets decimated by Turles. But then Goku collapses again, and he sees obviously I'm like completely explaining what happens at the end, but it just felt like,
So it's a spoiler alert, folks.
right. It just
If you haven't watched the film, but we always give away the end
we always
anyways.
do,
So
really.
we always, I feel like we always start with the end,
Yeah,
and
we always
then,
spoil it
and then
right from the beginning.
we work our way
Yeah,
backwards.
back to the front, like back to the beginning. Like literally that's how it was, like when we did, one of the Broly movies. But um yeah, like it felt like, okay, the first time it didn't work, let me try it again. And then the second time it does work, right? And I get it, like there's like the tree of Mai, Goku has nature on his side. Um, but yeah, it was a little strange. It felt mm, like they wanted to finish Turles off for the sake of finishing him, and
Yeah.
they just said, "Ah, all right, whatever. We're almost done with the movie. Just write something in." Um, but
Yeah,
I,
they probably could have made a sequel out of this. They probably could have kept him alive. I think that would have been nice to do
yeah,
so. Not to finish it in one part, but
two
finish it in
parts,
another part. Yeah,
right? Like
because
they did with the Broly movie.
I think there was enough story there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked uh, I did like some of the overarching themes. The tree of might being planted there because Earth has so much life, and it gives life to this gigantic tree. Uh,
Mhm.
and obviously, it's sucking up the energy of it's sucking the life out of the Earth, and it's granting power, like these fruits to with incredible power. Um, but
Yeah, I thought it was a cool concept.
right. Yeah, I did
I like
too.
the concept. Yeah.
That tree was little. Dude, when I saw them like actually go up to it and they pull up with the squad, um, and I'm like, "Oh, this is it, huh?" Like it's it's ridiculous. I mean, I hadn't watched this movie, so I always thought the tree was just like a regular tree. This thing was
Hmm.
literally like covering up. It was a giant. It was bigger than mountains. So it was cool though. It was a cool concept. I really did like that. But I noticed I guess one of the other word I was gonna use, but I didn't because I wanted to use journeyman because I'm gonna get to them in a minute. Uh, was was gonna be nature because I noticed that was a big like theme about this movie. Even at the beginning when the
Yeah.
forest is on fire, and then Icarus is about to get destroyed, and Gohan saves him. You know,
Yeah.
and uh, there's just, and then obviously like the Trio Might sucks up life. Goku references nature all the time. They have all those shots with like nature, which is cool. I don't know if like Toriyama or the writers were trying to tell us like take care of the world. But it was cool. Like it was cool, and I noticed that was kind of like a theme.
Yeah,
Um,
kind of like environmentalist type of deal.
something like that.
I
Yeah.
will say this though about the beginning, and it was just I thought it was kind of a waste of a time because like they did such a interesting opening shot, which was they're at the camping site and
Mm-hmm.
they're camping, and then they make fun of Gohan because of his big ass backpack, which
Mm-hmm.
I think might be a relation to the tree if I'm thinking about it now
Mm-hmm.
metaphorically or
Mm-hmm.
foreshadowing that he's carrying a big ass backpack, and so then it, so then all of that, right, and then all of a sudden it cuts to the song, right, when they finally like we need to go find the Dragon Balls. I thought
Mm-hmm.
this movie, the way they led the movie, I was like, oh, okay, this movie's about them finding the Dragon Balls to try to get this
Uh,
forest back.
right.
That's the way it was led to me. And then next
Yeah.
thing I know, Next shot is Shenron's back. Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. We just got the
Oh,
Dragon Balls
Icarus
out
is
of
about to
nowhere.
take him on.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Chris trying to take him on. That's
Head on.
what the next scene is. So
Yeah.
so that
Not
was a little bit of a weird thing. I'm like, I don't know if this was needed here. I don't know why they included this scene.
right. Well, I'll say this. So for sure at the big let's see. I
Because
mean,
they even like they even tame down the fire with like air, right? Like it's like they're air
yeah.
bending.
All
So
right.
maybe Dragon Ball Evolution was onto something. You know, maybe
when?
Dragon Ball Evolution was a.
When?
Remember when Dragon Ball Evolution, he's trying to learn something, and then like Chi Chi's there, and he's trying to like learn something, and he's like airbending and fire or something like that.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
You remember
That's
that?
quite the stretch, dude. I'm not gonna lie. That's quite the
Maybe it's a
stretch.
reference back to this
Dude,
film. You see,
that's
maybe
I
Dragon
don't
Ball
know,
Evolution
dude.
has a lot more
Nah.
Easter eggs
I
than we
can't.
think.
That's a 300 IQ play right there, bro. Uh yeah, you know, because I was gonna say this, like the reason I think the first scene was important was to give introduction to Icarus. But I mean, they could have introduced Icarus in a different way. And I don't know that Icarus was crucial to the
Yeah,
movie. You know what I'm saying? Like at
for
first I'm
sure.
like, "Oh, okay, Icarus might play a role in this." Like, but he might tell them like where Raditz is at, or he might have some type of connection
Turles.
to nature. Yeah, Turles. He might have some type of connection to nature, but nah, he was just there as a pet. And he's cool. Like, I mean, he was cool. He was adorable. It was cool seeing like that dynamic between Gohan and Icarus and all of that. Uh, but dude, hold on. Let me talk to you about the journeyman. All right. Um, this is this is when the roster was thin. All right. This is when they were just taking any applicants, bro.
Any applicants are just in there. Yeah.
Yeah, they were admitting everybody, bro. Uh, I mean, dude, when Goku says we gotta go, and he's pulling up with Krillin, Yamcha, Tien, Chaozu. Now, don't get me wrong, I kind of like Tien. There's something about him I kind of do like. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know if it's his fighting. I mean, it's his fighting style. The fact that he has a third eye, like an actual third
No,
eye.
you're forgetting Oolong.
Oh my!
Yeah, Oolong in that. The way that
Oh
fool's
my!
like, the way that fool's like, all right, I'm gonna need a day to get ready. And
Yeah.
everybody's like, nah, we can go
No, we're
right
going
now.
right now, bro. Yeah. Yeah, dude. That was next level, dog.
It was such a subtle,
Yeah.
such a subtle little joke. I love that
Yeah.
guy, man.
Yeah,
That's my
he's
boy.
yeah, that fool is
I'm gonna need a day,
class.
Goku.
Yeah, give me a day, bro. A day to escape. Was about a dip. Um, but then what got me was like the journeyman, like they're different introductions into the movie. So like Krillin, okay, well maybe not Krillin and Tien and Chaozu, but Yamcha, right? Yamcha's in his new ride, right? And he's like,
Yeah, yeah.
and fun fact, like Yamcha is actually voiced by Chris Sabbath, who voices the character for
That's
Vegeta
Piccolo and Vegeta
and Piccolo.
and
Yeah.
Piccolo. Yeah.
So
Oh, that man does a lot of the
yeah,
voices,
dude, they're
huh?
just like
He's like doing
milking
the
them,
whole
dude.
roster.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's doing
mean,
the whole roster.
yeah, dude. They just like they're milking them. But yeah, Yamcha's just, he's in the new ride. And I'm just like, of course Yamcha would do this, dude. And he literally used all his money to buy that new ride. And then when, it explodes or whatever, that's his motivation for wanting to get revenge because his ride got destroyed. And then when they're at the table and at Goku's house, and Yamcha's talking about his ride and how he used all his money to get it, Bulma grills him, right? And everyone starts laughing, and even he starts laughing because like he knows he's a joke. Like he never had any relevance, and this is
Yeah,
the thing. Like he's the Piccolo of the past, right? Like when Goku said, "All right, it's time to go," Yamcha really thought he meant him also. Like
Yeah.
Yamcha ended up tagging along, but to me it was like, dude, Yamcha trash fodder. Like he was kind of entertaining, but I don't know. I just don't find a spot for that man on the roster. And the other one was uh I'm trying to remember exactly how it was, but it's in the midst of battle, and then out of nowhere, it's gotta be when Gohan's getting into it with yeah, it is with Turles, I think. And then of course, Gohan's on the brink of getting destroyed, and you hear dun 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 dun. And I'm like, as soon as I heard that, I knew exactly who was coming in to the next shot, right? And the way they introduced a man with the like gliding down, like
Yeah,
hovering
yeah, yeah.
down with the like
They
showing
love that. They love that shot of him.
yeah,
Just
dude.
going from just squaring
From
him up.
bottom to yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Bottom to the top. And uh I was just like, here we go, Piccolo. And then he gets destroyed in one hit. Like
dude,
he
how
gets
horrible was this appearance from him?
obliterated, dude.
It was such a horrible appearance by him. I was
It was.
embarrassed for the poor guy. Dude, the most memorable thing, and the thing that it gets me good is at the end of the film, like they show him at the waterfall again, because they introduced him at the waterfall in the beginning, and
Yeah.
he's like looking like menacing to the screen, like as if he did something
Yeah.
in that fight. Like he's like
Like he carried it on his
he's like
back.
yeah, yeah. Like he's looking at the screen like he just
Like he's
like
that
he just
dude.
carried the team. Yeah, like he just did something on this
Like
battlefield.
right.
Like he didn't just get embarrassed. The
Like, dude.
shame on this man.
Yeah,
The
exactly, bro.
audacity of this man's character is ridiculous.
I know, dude. That's and the thing is, like at this point, he's still one of the strongest men or strongest beings like on that squad. And for
Yeah,
him to get
like he
destroyed like that,
handled it.
yeah,
Yeah,
dude.
he's like I
He
handled it.
definitely did. He
If you
definitely
just
did.
showed that last scene of him, it just looks like he handled
Yeah, it looks like he was a dude that his back is broken because he's carrying everyone. Um,
it. Yeah.
and but yeah, I felt like okay, Gohan. I think they tried to give Gohan a little more shine. Um, you know, and he was solid, but I feel like when it comes to battle, like Gohan doing more than Piccolo, to me, it's just like unless we're talking about Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, like I just it doesn't vibe with me. It doesn't sit well with me. So but then of course you got Oolong. He's always good. You always got to have that guy on there. Um, and then Krillin, he's Krillin. He put everything he could into his first attack when he did the Destructo Disc.
Well,
And
I wrote this in my notes. I'm like, he's finally busting out a move. I feel like I
right,
haven't seen him bust out a move in like
ever
ages.
since
When was the
yes,
last time he made a move that I can remember? The last thing I can remember is I think Bio Broly. That's the last
really?
movie I remember him doing a move.
Actually, yeah, I think you're
Every
right.
other
I think
movie,
you're right.
every other movie that we've seen since then, I haven't seen him do anything.
He's
Like in
just
regards to try to
he's
throw like a Destructo disc or anything.
well, you saw how much that man was like how hard he was breathing after he threw that
Yeah.
Destructo Disc. Like he put everything he could into it, and that's all he had. That man was struggling to catch his breath. Um, but yeah, Krillin, he's just there to take up some screen time as well. And they have this very like they have a formula, right? Like the sidemen, the
Hmm.
journeymen fight the fodder, like the henchmen. And we'll get to the henchmen in a little bit. And then uh the main character takes on the the main
The
antagonist.
big dog. Yeah, the
Right.
big
And that's
dog.
kind of why I liked the Broly movie, Legendary Super Saiyan, because like all of them were going at Broly. Um, it wasn't like they just stuck to a formula. And it was, yeah, looking back at that movie, I realized I think I didn't appreciate it enough after I watched this. Not that I thought this was trash. I don't think this is trash, but it kind of just like followed the same formula. Except
Yeah.
this time
After you've
Goku.
seen enough of these films, it's like, okay, this is the formula is here, and we're
Right,
just
dude.
waiting. We're just waiting to see what pieces just fall into the place that they normally do.
Right, dude.
So it
Like
just it's just what it is, you know.
it
After
is
you
what
see
it
so
is.
many of these, you're like, okay, they like their formula, and it's been successul. So you
Right.
know, you gotta just
Exactly.
keep it the way it is.
Exactly. And
Um,
I feel like, oh, go
yeah.
ahead, man. You're gonna say something.
Well, I was gonna say Gohan. I actually liked Gohan in this film. I didn't think that his fighting was too much. I actually thought it was pretty cool. I thought it was different. I thought it. I liked the fact that he's like there's this dynamic with him with Chi Chi and him. You know, sending out that books. This is why I said it might be a
Mhm.
play on the tree. Like the way I interpreted that was that Gohan is being told by Chi Chi, you have to learn all these things by books and stuff.
Mhm.
And in this tree, it almost feels like there's a I mean it's not a good message, but it almost felt like the tree is going to suck the life out of earth, right? Like that's the
Uh-huh.
concept.
Mhm.
So I'm wondering if like the books are going to suck the Saiyan out of him, like the
Mm.
studies are going to suck the
Yeah.
power that is within him, uh because he like can't like he
He
can't handle both, you know what I'm saying? Like
right.
he has to assimilate, or else he's gonna be like Goku in
Right.
regards that he doesn't know how to act in front of people.
Right, dude.
so
He really
so I
doesn't, dude.
interpreted I interpreted that like that. So when I saw him, you know, convert into like an ape, which I found a little interesting because I don't think that there was a tail when we saw him naked when they were in the bucket of water, but he somehow has a tail. Um,
Oh, I didn't even realize that, dude. You're right. Like, where did that thing come out of, dude? Oh my! Now just thinking
yeah,
about
so
it, dude.
there's some things in here, and then wouldn't Turles also become an ape if he saw the
Well,
moon?
he said
Like,
he tried. Well, he wasn't looking at it, and then he said, he threw that blast at the top of it to like cast a shadow so that he wouldn't see it after. Uh,
mm,
right.
okay,
But um,
yeah. But
yeah.
yeah, so you know, well, anyways, well he when he turned into an ape, I liked it. I liked the way Turles was kind of playing with him. I think it shows that he's still a little kid, and
Mhm,
but he has this like enormous potential that I
mhm,
think that that we all see, and that's kind of what I liked about the film was the fact that they are playing on the fact that he has this enormous potential, and that like
mhm,
we all can see that. I think Goku can see that. Turles
mhm,
definitely sees it in him,
mhm. That's
but
true.
Gohan is too little to really understand what he really actually has. And I think Chi Chi sees it as well. And she always keeps telling him of like, well, you're becoming just like your father's friends. So he's
Right.
not so she's wanting to steer him away from that potential and go through this other route. So I kind of like that because he's really having to really struggle with that, even though he's little and he doesn't necessarily get to dialogue about it. To me, I thought that's the way it came off on the film, and I think the ape kind of
Is a
exerts,
symbol
or
for
like
him,
it
like
just it's a symbol of
unleashing
him
his
just letting
rage.
low. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's cool. Like,
Of having to carry those books all the time.
yep, it's true. Like the dynamic is really interesting between Goku and Chi Chi and Gohan because it's not the same at all in compared to Trunks, Bulma, and Vegeta. Like Vegeta could care less what Trunks becomes or doesn't become, uh, and Cheat and Bulma doesn't necessarily care if Trunks is if he fights, if he becomes a fighter, if he does well in school, even though Trunks is like a genius. Uh, but Chi Chi, like they have very, very like solidified archetypes. Like Goku, he's kind of like, well, he's obviously a goof, but he's also kind of like the cool dad, like or the cool parent. Like he lets Gohan slide with a lot of stuff, and he tries to help. He tried to help Gohan with Icarus, and you know, Gohan wants to fight more than he wants to study, I think. And Goku is always like, "Yeah, well, come on, come with me." Um,
Which is a
it's
horrible
technically a
message, by
terrible,
the way, because
yeah,
he's telling his son to lie to his mom, and
yeah, yeah.
that's
Don't
the
lie to your
horrible message
parents,
here.
but
Well, Well, yeah, and then tell me about it. That's like what they tell people that like abuse children and stuff. You know, that's one of the
Mm,
big things of it, right? It's like don't keep secrets with them.
mm-hmm. Yeah.
Uh,
Oh.
anyways,
Yeah, well, that's definitely true though. But the other thing is Chi-Chi, like how she's the complete polar opposite to Goku, and how she's so strict, you know, she's so like you have to do well in school. You know, you have to do your studies. You can't become like your dad, even though dad's the dude that got you. Dad backed you up.
yeah, that is the one saving the universe time after time and time
Right.
after again.
So what are you telling me that not to be like my dad for? But I do like that. It makes for like a very interesting like household where, you know, Vegeta, Trunks, and Bulma, they just live together, really. Like they're just
But
I
like
don't
we said last time, or
yeah.
not that we haven't even said, but you know, Vegeta, we've imagined what a daily life of Vegeta is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That man's in the chamber all day. You
Right?
know what I'm saying? That man's
Yeah.
in the well, I think that's the thing that's funny is that like I think Chi Chi would like her child to be what Trunks ends up becoming, and
Right.
he ends up becoming that without all the pressure of having to do that.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, it also doesn't help that it doesn't hurt that his mom's also like a genius as well, and
Yeah,
and
exactly.
his
It's
grandfather is also
genetic.
like
Right.
basically.
Exactly.
But
Yeah. Um
he also has King Vegeta on that lineage as well. So
ooh, shoot, dude. Damn, talk about royalty. When you're talking about the most alpha characters in this whole series, you got to bring up King Vegeta. That man is at the
he
top
reminds
of
me of one
that
of our
list.
uncles actually,
Who, dude?
King
That
Vegeta.
that boy Heck?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
he
the
does,
goatee,
dude.
like the
like
goatee.
like the way he looks, dude. Yeah, he does.
Yeah,
Um
yeah.
Yeah, nah, but yeah, I mean, obviously Gohan has a lot of potential. And I think it's good that they show like how much potential he has. Like obviously you said Turles, he sees it. He sees it when he's trying to convince Gohan to to join him. Because right, this I mean, come on, let's face it, dude. The henchmen that this man's like bringing along, like those dudes, we know he did the same exact thing, accepting all applicants. Um,
Wait, hold on. I gotta disagree with you on that one. I didn't think that the henchmen were that bad, and they handled who's
okay,
Goku's boys.
okay, I'm gonna
So
get to the
at the end of the
henchmen.
day, his henchmen. I mean, hey, they couldn't handle Goku. I'll give them that. But shit, they took care of the other
They
trash bags that went over there and tried to
they
fight him.
did.
So
I
I mean,
mean,
at the end of the day, like
it was the
they're I
fight
think
of
they're
the
a step
fodder,
above
dude,
of Goku's.
for sure. But the bar's not set too high. And here's the thing,
You know
dude.
the thing. You know the thing that came to my mind though when I was watching them fight, and then when the Z Warriors got handled, I'm like, I cannot believe, and I can't believe Dragon Ball has done this to us. I cannot believe that this crew is who goes to the Tournament of Power.
That's true, dude.
I cannot believe that this
This
is who we thought was
literally
gonna be able to fight Jiren.
right. This it's
They
true.
couldn't handle Turles's henchmen, and they
Right.
were somehow gonna win this tournament.
Dude, literally that's true. The only guys that also came were what Roshi and Vegeta. Other than that,
That
like
were added. Other
yeah,
than
other
that,
than
the
that, it's
squad
this
stays the same,
roster.
except for Yamcha.
Oh yeah,
Yamcha accepted his fate that he's like,
right,
nah, I'm
which
not
is
in this anymore.
respectable, dude. To a degree, it's
Yeah, of course.
respectable. He knows he's trash. He knows he's just at the bottom of the pile, and he's basically a regular human now. Um,
Yeah,
he ain't
pretty
even a
much.
warrior, but it's good. Like he knows like his limits. But yeah, let's get to the henchmen, dude. Let's get to Turles's henchmen. Um, it sounds like you were feeling them. Now, yeah, I
The only one that I
certainly
thought were
did.
the cool were the ones that had like the one I forget their names, but they were the twins. I think they had
Raisin
they
and
had
I forget the other little guy. Yeah. Um,
like a little butt chin as a head.
yeah, dude, they're like a big brain or a butt chin. Uh,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, they were cool. Like they were cool. When as soon as Gohan fought them, and like I see like they're going at it, and then Gohan charges at him with the head, and the dude takes a head to the ribs. I'm like, oh, that's it, dude. That's lights out. I love that move. That was my a head to the rib cage. Rib cage is gone, bro. Lungs are collapsed. I was like, that's a beautiful shot right there. Uh, but dude, I don't even remember their names. Do
Yeah, I don't
you?
remember their names either. Nah,
Right? Like,
I don't remember their names.
um, I
I
don't know.
thought they
Like,
were like I thought they were like the maybe the first version of what maybe they had thought the Ginyu Force was gonna be. Because if you see them, they're kind of like
yeah.
posing a little bit, and they kind of have that little demeanor about them.
Yep.
But I'm
Y-
glad that they went to the drawing board and like restructured them. I mean, one of them looks like Guldo. I mean, the two little ones look like Guldo.
They
So
do,
like
and also
they
like
they
Goldo with Ginyu's complexion.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So, they I think that they maybe this was like the I mean, I don't know, I'm taking a huge leap here because I think this is before the Namek saga. So at
Yeah.
least I don't that's another thing in this movie. Who knows where the hell this movie fits in.
Yeah,
But
for
like
reals, yeah.
it's I think. And so then, it would make sense for me that this is like their first attempt at like, seeing how another force would look like. And because the other dude too, the dude that fights Krillin, you're right, I don't know any of their names, but the
Right.
dude that fights Krillin, he looks like Frieza's like right hand man. The dude with I want to say his name's Zarbon.
Zarbon. Right.
Yeah, right, Zarbon. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So he looks like him, just like a bigger, like Nappa type of
Yeah. And
figure to him.
so like, yeah, I will say this though. I appreciate the dude that Goku was fighting. Well, he was fighting two dudes. And I mean, when he gave him the business and he did the two like Kamehamehas on the side, like
Hmm.
I like that. But that dude that was like pink, he had that pink complexion and he just looked
Hmm.
way different than anything we had seen before. Like
Hmm.
normally
That's the
it's
dude that fought Yamcha.
did he? He's in the. I think he did. I think he did, but he also fights Goku. He's in the like that armor that almost
Like a
chrome like
suit, right?
yeah. And he's pink. You remember him? He looks weird, like everything.
Hmm. I
Uh,
think I know what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah. He almost looked like he had like a jetpack type of deal. That
yeah, I
dude.
think so. But and he didn't look like a human at all. He actually looked
Yeah,
like
he
a
looks like kind of like a frog type of
right.
deal.
Exactly. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Him. Like I appreciate that they went um out of their way to make a character like a henchman look very very different than anything we've seen before. Like normally it's like these big huge these buff dudes with these necks that are just crazy jacked and like the body's like this dude, or it's like these guys with these long heads. uh this one like I was like, okay, this is way different than what I've seen before. So and even the armor that he was wearing, like I liked it. Yeah, it was like chrome, I think. um but then they were just they weren't they were a little bit forgettable for me, you know um that's all. I mean, I don't know
Hmm.
how you felt about them.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're forgettable, but I think that they were formidable opponents for at where the Z fighters were in the
Yeah, yeah,
series.
yeah.
So for that, I give them props because I think that for them to create somebody for the Z fighters to fight and to just give a little bit more like a little bit more clout for Turles's like crew, because I think if the Z fighters would have just handled them, then I think it would have sent the wrong message about, okay, well, who the hell's Turles hanging out with? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like with Lord Slug, that's what happened, right? Like Piccolo was able to handle some of them and blah blah blah. But I think when you have a crew that's able to hold their own and just like really I think just lay down the foundation that Turles isn't hanging around bumps. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like he's hanging around some tough folks. So then what the hell's Turles like? If that
Hmm.
that's what it makes me think of. Like who how the hell is Turles gonna handle this?
Yep.
And so I kind of like that.
And I feel like they actually, thinking about it, they took this um concept because it looks like it's right before the Namek saga.
Who knows, dude?
Yeah, either that
Who
or like
knows?
right before the Vegeta Saiyan saga. But they really did a good job of fleshing it out when it came to the Namek saga, because the Ginyu Force is done very
Well, it can't.
well.
It can't be. It can't be. It can't be Vegeta because Piccolo's on their side by this time.
Piccolo is on
Isn't
their
Piccolo
side.
not? Piccolo is on their side in that time.
You're right. You're right. It can't be. It has to be. Dude, I think they just dropped the ball. Like they missed the mark here, because it definitely can be after the Saiyan saga, because Goku already knows Super Saiyan, right? And he doesn't use it here. It can't be before the Saiyan saga where Vegeta comes down, because Goku's dead at that point. And
Yeah.
and if it's I guess it would be in between the Saiyan saga and the Namek saga, but I remember Goku being decimated. He broke every bone in his body when he fought Vegeta.
Yeah. I thought he was dead. Yeah, I thought he was dead at this point. And yeah.
Yeah, well,
So I
when he
don't. Yeah, I
fought
don't know.
Vegeta, he didn't die, but every bone in his body broke because he got crushed by when Vegeta turned into an ape, and he was
Mm.
recovering for forever. And then that's why Krillin and the squad they took off to Namek. Um, Dude, I kind of want to watch the Namek saga again. I feel like they took this and they really expanded on they fleshed the Namek saga out using this as a foundation, because the Ginyu Force, like you said, it kind of you do see a lot of the Ginyu Force in these guys. And
Mm.
I could tell you right now, Raccoon, Guldo, Jace, uh, obviously
But yeah,
Ginyu,
Raccoon. He looks like the other dude.
right?
Like another
But
one dude in the squad.
Right, but they did like they made those guys like memorable. They had those poses, like you said. They had those quirky personalities, um, and then you knew when the Ginyu Force came down, like, oh, this is another level. Like, this is really next level. Even Vegeta was like, damn it, this is this like Zarbon, Dodoria, like, oh, Dodoria's on the Ginyu Force, right? I think so.
It's is it? No, it's
No, no, no,
Raccoon.
he's
It's
not. My bad.
Goldo. It's the other dude. It's the yeah. I know who you're talking. I know who you're trying to get to. It's the yellow guy in Legends. I forget. I'm trying to remember them all by Legends and their colors.
Okay,
Because it's
so
Ginyu, Goldo, Raccoon, Jace, and then
Jace.
there's the yellow one. The yellow one that I
Oh, the
forget
blue
his name.
dude.
Yeah, the blue dude.
Wow,
There
how
you
am I
go.
forgetting his name, dude?
Uh,
I won't accept this. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank on his name.
Anyways,
But
so you're saying that they used this as a foundation for the
yeah, and they
Namek
did a
saga?
really good job. Oh, Birder, that's the name, Birder.
There you
They did
go.
a really
Mhm.
good job of that's how it's done. You know, the way they did the Ginyu Force, I loved it. Like their leader was a legit bad mother. You know what? And the dudes he was rolling around with, they were some tough SOBs as well. So, um, I felt like they did it perfectly. But with this one, yeah, it's they had some cool designs. A little different fighting styles, but yeah, they were just there. Like if we ranked top henchmen in all the Dragon Ball movies, these guys are probably in the B tier, C tier type of thing. So you know, uh, yeah, they were all right, but they weren't anything special to me. How'd you feel about Turles, dude? I mean, he's like obviously the main antagonist. He's the brains behind the operation. Um, because I know for me, like I actually really, really, really liked Turles. I thought he was he was different, and it, he had a motivation to him that of course he wants to be stronger, like all of them want to be stronger, but the way he went on about it was so different than just, oh, I'm gonna destroy planet Earth. Like, no, I'm gonna use planet Earth. I'm gonna suck the life out of planet Earth. Um,
Yeah.
so I was feeling Turles. How'd you feel about him?
Turles, I had really enjoyed Turles actually. I thought the way he maneuvered was great. I thought like again, his crew. He didn't have to waste his time with Krillin and Piccolo, and he didn't have
Right.
to waste his time. He let his boys handle it. So I like the fact that he had a crew that could handle their own. So I'm like, okay, so Turles must mean that he must be better than them. So that's tight. And I thought he did. I thought he was better than them. I thought the way he played Gohan was great. He did a lot of the things that I like in antagonists. I mean, when he needs to fight, he'll fight, but he will go out of his way to just do these things to just really put the protagonist in like deep holes. Like I love the fact that like I like that scene, and we talked a little bit about Icarus, and you mentioned it, but it was really kind of like in just in passing right now about like, well, we saw Icarus again later on, and it was an introduction to Icarus,
Mhm.
and it was such a waste of time to introduce Icarus because of what the scene that it cultivated to. Like it was just over in such a flash, right? Where Icarus comes and he's able to get through Gohan for as an ape,
Oh, mhm.
right? Like to me, like that's why Icarus was there, so that we
Right,
can get to that point.
right,
But
right.
I love Turles's I just love Turles's reaction to it, where he's just like, oh, that's nice, and then he just
Yeah,
just fucking annihilates Icarus, and
yeah.
I love it because it's so cold, and you just feel like the coldness there. So to me, the way I interpreted Turles was this is what Goku could have
Mm,
been
right.
if he would have just stayed like a
Evil,
deep
right?
Saiyan, like
Right, like a true
yeah, like an
Saiyan.
evil. Yeah, so I mean, whether I don't really like the fact that he looks like Goku. I really don't like that,
But
because
now that you say me
but
neither.
I
At
think
first, I was like, that's
it's like a
unclear.
Goku Black type of situation. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like this is what Goku could be if he was evil, and
Ginyu when he's
so I think
yeah,
this
when he's
so
absorbed
this is the very
Goku.
beginning of them playing with that idea, right? I
Mm-hmm.
think of like what would it look like if Goku was a bad guy? And I think
Mm-hmm.
Turles is that where he's just really ruthless, and he's
Mm-hmm.
just like and he's and he's not necessarily a cheater, but like I like the fact that he like he eats he's smart, you know what I'm saying? Like he knows what he's doing, and he eats the fruit and he becomes that, that's another thing that I didn't necessarily like, but I did like the concept of it. But I wish that when he ate the fruit there was like a bigger transformation than what it was, because
Yeah.
he looked the same to me.
Mm-hmm.
um so I thought that was a missed opportunity, because I'm like, well, he doesn't look like he changed, but you're telling us that he did. So that was a little bit of a weird jump that they did there. Um, but I like the fruit concept of it. But then again, it leads to my original like stance or original word, which is it's anticlimactic, because they had such a cool story here, and he had built it up that Goku was such in the hole that it just felt really like not uh
Real
in
the way
like
he finished them.
not real, yeah, like not like I don't want to say enjoyable, but like not satisfying,
Right.
in the way that they took him down.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, I agree. And you mentioned this is kind of showing the fan base what Goku could have been had he never landed on Earth and hit his head. Um, because I think there is like a part of the fan base who wants to know what, especially at this time, like you have to remember Goku Black didn't exist. Ginyu or Goku absorbed by Ginyu, whatever, didn't exist. This was like the first time you got to see that type of concept played out. And I'm sure like people enjoyed it. I think, I think it's safe to say. And I like it because you're right. Like it is something I didn't really look at it that way when I was watching the movie, but now hearing you talk about it, it does make sense because even when he's talking to Goku, um, I don't know. Did you I know it was dubbed, but did you read the subtitles? Did you see there were
The subtitles
subtitles?
were all off. Yeah, they were all
Yeah.
off. Yeah.
But
Hmm.
but and that's because yeah, that's because the subtitles, yeah, sometimes they don't directly like translate whatever. The point is there's a point where Turles is talking to Goku and he's telling him like you're a low class warrior just like me. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Hmm.
basically like you and I were. obviously they're Saiyans, which is a warrior race, but they're at the bottom of the bottom. You know, they're peasant level type of Saiyans, and he's like, there's something about that where within the Saiyan hierarchy, I'm sure Turles has resentment towards the likes of like a Vegeta, you know, like um a King Vegeta, right? Like where it's like, dude, Goku, you or Kakarot, you're just like me, and you decide to become good. Like we gotta. Maybe I'm stretching, you know, I'm reaching, but there's that element of like you you kind of betrayed not just the Saiyans, but you betrayed us, like within the Saiyan hierarchy. And Turles is gonna do everything he can to like to be the Saiyan that's from the low class, um, and become as strong as he can. And he sees Kakarot, and that's why he doesn't like want to kill Gohan. He wants Gohan to join him, right? Like,
Yeah, he's like, don't waste your time, don't
mm-hmm,
waste this
right, where like,
type of come from.
yeah, exactly. So I liked how they did Turles. I thought he was an interesting character. At first I was like, man, but it's because I've already seen Goku Black and I've seen all these other iterations of like an evil Goku. But um I like how they did Turles. And yeah, it wasn't fitting the way he went out. Like, uh okay, I get it. Like the spirit bomb, it's a good move to use, but because the spirit bomb requires all of nature, and Turles is sucking up all of nature. But
Yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that part though. I
right,
like
yeah.
that
So
part. The
exactly
fact that
that.
there was a consequence. They came back to that consequence, right? Of like the spirits. Like you need the spirits, but this thing is literally sucking out the spirits out of
Hmm.
things. The
Yeah.
energy, you know.
So
So
that was cool, but it just felt like the actual execution. It was just like, all right, well, the first one didn't work. Here goes the second one. Like, it's well, then if the second one didn't work, here goes the third one, and we would have just
yeah.
kept going until Turles died.
And let me have the journeyman inspire him.
Yeah,
Dude,
dude. Oh, nah, dude.
what?
Yeah,
Dude,
dude.
when they started talking to him, I'm like, dude, why
Get
are you
out of
listening
here,
to
bro.
these? Yeah, dude, go. If I was Goku, I'd be like, dog, you guys got handled
Yeah,
by
like,
this fool's henchman, dog. Don't
right,
talk to
like,
me about that. I'm here. That I'm the
right.
last hope.
That's exactly.
I know
Like
that. I've been
Chaozu.
known that.
Yeah, dude. You think I don't know that, bro? Like, Chaozu, we're not counting on you, bro. Uh,
This man's rather self-destruct
yeah,
than to
exactly. Then
go
actually
freaking go
fight.
battle somebody.
Exactly. But and so yeah, like it felt like you know, the concept was cool. I just didn't like the execution. Um, but how'd you like the overall fighting, like the actual
I thought the
battles?
fighting was great. I thought
Yeah.
the fighting was great. But I will say one last thing on Turles because I
Oh
want
yeah.
to say this that I wish like everything you just said about Turles, I wish would have been shown in the film because a lot of what you just added right now, you added on your own, and I don't think the film did a good enough job to explain that part. That like
Yeah.
that Turles was there to show like uh well, shit, I don't even know. I guess it was just to just destroy Goku because Goku didn't get the job done. But to me, that's not. That motivation wasn't that. The motivation wasn't as clear for me as to why Turles was going to Earth, other than planting the tree. But
Mm-hmm.
there was another motivation there of trying to get Goku. In
Mm-hmm.
that Goku motivation, I think was stronger than the other one. But I wish they would have fleshed it out a little bit more so that we could get that like vengeance or we could get that like feel of like you kind of wasted
Yeah,
your thing.
yeah, exactly. Your power,
You know
like
what I'm
what we
saying?
could have been, especially
Yes.
amongst the low class ranks.
So I wish they would have tapped into that because as I'm hearing you say that, I'm like, that sounds really cool, but the film didn't do a good
Really,
job at
yeah.
explaining that.
Because the thing is, Goku, he's aloof to the Saiyan hierarchy, right? And yes, he's a Saiyan. He's a fearsome warrior because Saiyans are fearsome. but don't forget, like, he's a low class, and Vegeta always reminds him, always reminds him that he's a low class warrior. You know, like he's he's from the bottom, and Vegeta's from the top, and
Well,
and
if King Vegeta's in the indication of where the hell
yeah, so
Vegeta's from,
it
I wouldn't be bragging about anything.
right. So maybe that hierarchy isn't that strong really, but it's it's a cool concept to see, like maybe there's a little bit of turmoil even within the Saiyan race. It's not just like, oh yes, we'll take orders. Yes, 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 everything you say, King Vegeta. And King Vegeta, dude, we could do a whole episode on that man. That man is I'm
I
definitely
mean,
going
we
off on
might, we
going
might.
off
Yeah.
on a tangent here, yeah. But I don't know how that man became the king. But anyways, we'll keep it moving. Yeah, dude, how'd you feel about well,
But
you started
the
saying the
fighting.
fighting was good, was great. And I agree, I liked it too. But yeah.
I like the fighting. I thought the animation is cool because it's from a different time, you know what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
it's not as like
Vintage.
glamorous as yeah, as we are now, but it's just, this is like, beginning Dragon Ball Z, not beginning, but early Dragon Ball Z
Hmm.
animation. So I liked it. I liked the fighting, that move that you said right now about the two Kamehamehas, or like the two, like him attacking the two people at the same time. I
Hmm.
really enjoyed that fight scene where he was fighting all of them.
Hmm.
um, I thought they did a really nice job showcasing his power there, and even when the scrubs were taking on the scrubs, like I thought it was entertaining. I thought it did its job.
Yeah.
I thought there were some scenes where the animation looked really clean. Especially the nature scenes, like that it looked tight. So um, yeah, I don't really remember much about Turles and Goku fighting though.
Well,
So
and that's what I was going to talk about right now. I enjoyed the fighting too, and I actually enjoyed Turles and Goku fighting, because Turles was busting out some different moves. I liked he when Krillin is, or not Krillin, Gohan, he's in his ape form, and what's his name? Turles, he shoots like that donut like beam, right? Like that
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
electrical beam, and then Goku throws what looks like a destructo disc and chops off Gohan's tail. Um, and Gohan basically floats through the ring. It misses him, right? And so I like that. That was a cool little scene, and goodbye Goku. But I mean, Goku has all these moves in his repertoire, and the man always goes to the Kamehameha or the Spirit Bomb. Like, dude, if you could do the Destructo Disc, that may be a good move to use. Like, don't let Krillin, like, I don't want Krillin doing the Destructo Disc if Goku can do it, bro. Uh, Especially when you're fighting
Well,
the
maybe he
main event.
doesn't do it because he sees what Krillin does with it.
Yeah.
He's just like, this guy's not doing He's not doing anything with this.
Yeah,
Well,
this
why
is,
would I use that move?
or maybe he's like, this
Yeah,
is Krillin's only move. If I really take it from him, he's just really not gonna have anything.
he doesn't have anything.
Right.
Yeah,
But then the thing is, like, Goku, he goes Kaioken times 20, and I'm like, dude, what? That's okay. Kaioken times 10 basically put him in bed rest when whenever he used it, you know. I mean, he could.
yeah.
Kaioken was giving him a hard time when he was going up against Vegeta. Um, so when he went Kaioken times 20, I'm like, dude, what? We're gonna forego like what Kaioken does to the body? It just destroys him. Uh, which I mean, I don't know if that's what it was like. I can't tell if Goku's body's destroyed by the Kaioken or by Turles's point blank multiple blasts that he gives him. Literally, that should
Yeah,
have
there's a
killed
lot of
him, dude.
point blank. There's a lot of
That's
point blanks in here.
yeah. Well, that should have killed him, dude.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved his blast though. Like his like. I mean, gotta give it again to Legends. Legends does another great job. Shout out to Legends again, because yeah, his move set is really cool. I like the way it looks. But yeah, you're right. he does go Kaioken 20, and I know that that was a little bit of a weird. That was a little bit of a weird
Uh,
jump there. You know,
What? Yeah, exactly, dude. Like, okay, we're
it's a
just
little
gonna
bit of
go
a weird
here.
jump. Yeah.
Next is gonna be Kaioken times four. But other than that, like, yeah, I thought the fighting was solid. I do wish the way Turles went out was a little more uh, worthy of the character he was. And like you said, I felt like this could have been a sequel easily. The way they do with Broly, they love Broly, so they'll bring Broly back. They brought Cooler back. I think with Dragon Ball, they never know how the film is going to be received and how these new characters are going to be received. So they don't go in thinking, "Oh, we're going to make a two-part movie." Cuz if the movie bombs, then they're going to be making a sequel to a piece of trash, or a movie that wasn't well received. So, uh but I mean, it would
Well,
have been nice.
tell that to Cooler, dog. Tell that to Cooler.
That's the thing, dude.
Tell that to
Cool.
Cooler.
The first Cooler movie, it did so well, I guess, and people loved it that they had to make up some story for him to come back to life. Um, but I mean, I was buying it. I bought the story. Uh, but
Still a point of disagreement there.
yeah. Hey, but
Yeah.
why don't we before we get into our ratings, into the scores that we give it, why don't we hear what the people have to say? What do the folks have to say about the movie? Was it a hit or miss?
Well, let me see if there's anything else on my notes
Oh
that I
yeah, go
want to
ahead,
just
man.
say last piece before. No, I think we talked about everything that I at least wanted to say. Oh, there was a scene in there where Tien looked like Nate Robinson, where he just knocked the fuck out. Um, just put that in my
Dude.
notes. This book looks like just knock the fuck out. He looks like
was,
Nate Robinson.
I didn't even think about that, dude. And then yeah, of
Yeah, and
course there's
when
that
I
one.
wrote here where he's being talked to by his friends, I'm like, this is melodramatic and corny. So,
Oh
um,
yeah, that's that last scene,
hmm
or
hmm
right before he finishes.
yes, yeah, I think that's yeah. So I mean, I think I got everything from my notes that we talked about. Let me see. Let me look at the reviews. So for the most part, this is a film. Apparently, this is the third Dragon Ball Z movie or Dragon Ball Z special.
I can
So
I can I can yeah, I can kind of tell.
it comes in the very beginning of the progression, or like I guess you would say the rolling out of films from what I've done in my research, right? It was Dead Zone first, World's
Mhm.
Strongest, and then it was the Tree of Might.
Mm.
So and then after that comes Lord Slug and Cooler's Revenge. So this is the third one of Dragon Ball Z. So we're talking about a very early film here.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
for the most part, people really enjoyed this movie. Um, okay, so the first review by Kevin. Personally, I want to think that this movie's pretty good. Being a
Mhm.
fan of DBZ as a kid, I think Turles is great. Villain. It's like who wouldn't want to see an evil Goku. The problem is that Turles is underrated. Other than that, it's a good action for all the Z fighters and Turles' crew.
Mhm.
That's
I
one.
agree,
So
and I think
sorry. Mhm.
yeah, Turles is one of the main stars of this film for sure, for sure. There's a dude is hella funny. Like I was looking at some of these reviews. Uh,
Mhm.
there was a dude who literally put the link. He gave it like a 5 out of 5. Oh no, a 3.5 out of 5, and he just put the link to the movie in the review. But
That's how great it was.
that's how it was,
Uh,
dude.
Another one here was by Edgar. I
Okay.
saw this in theaters and I was blown away when I was 4 years old.
What?
Now I look at it and it's one of the worst DBZ films in the series. I'm still
Nah,
entertained. I'm still entertained, and it has some of my favorite characters, but they're all supposed to be dead. So
Right.
as a Dragon Ball Z film, it doesn't fit anywhere into any of the storylines. So I give it a 3 out of 5.
Ah,
So
it's not that bad
so
though.
that is a all right. Last one right here. This well, let me. I'm gonna give you one last one that's bad and one that's good. All right. So this one's a 3 out of 10. So I
Damn.
love Dragon Ball Z. The first three movies they produced were not great. This is the worst of the three. I honestly was out of the phase of Saiyans being the villain. After Vegeta, there's no other good villains that's a Saiyan besides Broly. When I think of evil, the word Turles never comes to mind. I also don't like the voice acting, just not the right people for the job. I'm so glad that the voices and the types of drawings changed after this movie. I'm not sure if I could have taken another one after this sad little movie. Also, knowing that Super Saiyan already existed while watching this movie made Kaioken just seem stupid.
Wait, but did it though? That's
Nobody knows, dude. I
yeah.
think that's one of the biggest
Points of
you
confusion, right?
know, yeah, points that people are just kind of confused about.
Right. Yeah.
Last one here is DBZ always seems to make more personal when the baddies are Saiyans and Saiyans related. Tree of Might is a great addition to the DBZ canon because it plays into the existing storyline. It doesn't feel like a filler episode. So
Uh,
That's by John. So I think we have contradictory
yeah.
reviews. So
Literally.
I think the fan base is a little confused as to what. To me, what I got out of those reviews is that one of the biggest knocks with the film is one, Turles is not that interesting in regards to like being a Saiyan bad guy, and then the second one is that it doesn't really fit anywhere in regards to the series.
The
So I think
timeline,
that
right.
I never actually had included that in my rubric or in my assessment of films.
Right.
Uh, if that actually plays a role in my rating, but I
Hmm.
think it's interesting that it does for people in regards to where does it fit,
Right.
which I think is a valid point here.
Right, because then it makes the stakes feel real, at least a lot or higher. Because if Goku could go Super Saiyan in this movie, then Turles never had a shot. Like none of his goons
Yeah,
had a shot. But then if Goku can't, then yeah, Turles can quite easily like handle Goku and Goku squad. But yeah, like you said, I think the biggest thing I actually thought like, yeah, I think Turles is a really cool antagonist, and I don't know. I wish they brought more Saiyans into the mix, even if they were evil, in the current series.
but they
But
can't look like Goku. That's the problem
yeah,
here that I have with it. It's just like stop making them look like Goku. Stop making them look like Vegeta. It's just like, dude, go the Broly way. Create a new
yeah,
one. You know.
Paragus looked cool, and I like Paragus, the type of Saiyan he is. He ain't like the the typical like fist to cuffs type of guy, like where he's just gonna want to duke it out with everyone. He's more of a uh strategist. But why don't you say why don't we do our ratings? You ready for that?
Yeah.
All right, dude. All right, so
When I see this film and I put it up against my other films,
mhm.
what?
No, not my bad. I was gonna say, all right, dude, go ahead.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So when I look at my other films and my other ratings, where I put this in is I, it's for sure not better than the Wrath of Dragons. That's for sure.
Right.
That's like my 6. Right? In History of Trunks is 7. And I don't think that it's worse than Bardock. And I gave Bardock a 5. And when I look at this film, I see a lot of Bardock in here. Great, great, great story, in my opinion. I like the story that they were trying to tell here.
Uh-huh.
Um, but it was that ending that really messed it up for me. And the the Z Fighters just sucking complete ass was also a minus for me because I'm like, this is a sad excuse of a crew that ends
Mm-hmm.
up going to the Tournament of Power 20 years later, or 30 years later, and the way they kill Turles is super fast, which I didn't really like.
Mhm.
Um, and and I thought that some of the things were a little confusing. So with that, I'll say that this is a solid 5 for me.
Okay.
This is a 5 for me. Yeah.
Respectable. I was kind of in that same uh school of thought. And for me, the biggest thing is the most redeemable pieces are the story. I like that Earth is being used not just like, oh, we want to take over the world or we want to destroy Earth. It's being used as a tool, as a vessel for Turles's power. Um, I like that they have that concept. I like Turles. I like Turles. I feel like he was a really cool antagonist. One of the better one of well, yeah, one of the better ones that I've seen so far in the movie. I like the fighting that I see. I like a lot of the action that I saw. Um, but some of the things that I just felt like kind of knocks on it were, like you said, like Turles getting decimated the way he did, like so quickly. Uh, Piccolo getting destroyed upon arrival. Um, the inclusion of Yamcha.
That's minus one ball right there, dude.
Right, exactly, dude. Uh,
Piccolo dictates how many knocks this movie gets.
right, exactly. I thought the henchmen were forgettable. And you know, I felt like there were some things that I guess like Icarus being in there, like I'm still debating whether or not he was necessary. I'm leaning towards yeah, he was, but the fact that I'm debating is kind of tells you that he didn't have like the impact that I think they wanted him to have. So for me, this is definitely not a terrible movie. It's worth the watch. Oh, and the other thing, this had an hour long worth of like time to work with, where the other movies they have 45 minutes. So those extra 15 minutes, how are you going to use them? And I felt like they could have done more
They
with it.
misused him.
Right.
Yeah, those 15. I think like I said, the first 15 minutes was a waste. I think
Right. Exactly.
the first opening act was a waste of time.
Exactly. And so for that, I got to give it a 4. A 4 Dragon Balls out of 7, dude. Solid movie. I definitely think if you guys are Dragon Ball fans, you should watch it, especially since it's vintage. It's one of the first ones that came out. That's really cool. But they could have done more with it, Definitely, I think they could have done more with it. But they had some really, really cool concepts here. That's for sure. But yeah, man, 4 out of 7. 4 out of 7.
Dope. Yeah. One last
Uh,
thing too that I forgot to put in my stuff too is like I also didn't really like that Turles looked like Goku. That was
uh,
my other knock that I had on it too. Yeah.
yeah.
So that was I wish they would just create another Saiyan. But
Right. And I
yeah, I mean
think
it's a solid movie, man. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. I recommend it. I think it's a cool story. I think it's a different story that I think that they try to tell, and it's. I think Turtles is pretty cool. I think it's pretty interesting.
yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it yet. It's a good watch. And yeah, with that we'll go ahead and sign off, right, man?
Yeah.
All right. So thank you everyone for taking the time out of your day to listen to us. We hope we provided some good insight into this movie. This was certainly an enjoyable movie, a movie that we felt maybe could be better in certain aspects, but is definitely not the worst of the bunch. Um, we're going to sign off, but you guys can follow us on Twitter. We have our Twitter handles down in the description below. You can listen to us on all the podcast platforms, and you can follow us on social media. Again, all that will be down in the description. We appreciate everyone listening. If you have any feedback, please feel free to provide it. Let us know what you thought about this movie. Did you like it? Did you hate it? What didn't you like about it, or what did you like about it? Are we way off with our reviews? Were we trash today with our reviews? Let us know. Um, and yeah, with that, we'll go ahead and sign off. Any last thoughts, man?
Uh. mm, oh yeah. Just share the podcast with somebody. If you know somebody likes Dragon Ball Z or Dragon, much as
Dragon
you
Ball in
do or
general?
much as we
Yeah.
do. Just Dragon Ball in general. Just make sure that you share our podcast with them.
Yeah,
That's all.
exactly. Uh, yeah, cool. All right. With that, don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will be back next week. Thank y'all. Bye.